Do you suffer from stress, depression, low morale, low motivation, lack of confidence? This session is for you. I'm not a doctor, but I will be addressing one of the root cause of many of these problems in today's Connect. If I may ask you, what is your most valuable asset or resource? You may say money, you may say other assets like home, cars, gadgets. Yes, they are important, but not the most valuable. Then, what is the most valuable asset? What is the most valuable resource? Right? The most valuable resource that you have with you is your time. That is what brings us here in today's Connect. The question is why it is more valuable. The reason is that the rest of those are replenishable resources. You consume and you can get more, not the same for time. It is said that water that flows through the river never comes back. True? Same is true for time. Once your day is over, it is over. It is a new day next day, a fresh beginning. You cannot do anything about the one that passed. So it is extremely, extremely important to make the best use of your current day. And this is the topic for today's session. And what is more important? This is not something which is just important for a professional, it is important equally for a housewife, for a student, for a retiree, for a businessman, or a working professional. So stay with me for today's session till the end, and I can guarantee you it will be time well spent. Stay with me. So today's session is about time management. So when we say time management, I mean we all understand. If I ask you something, what is time management? You very well know about that. But then how many of us are able to utilize our time effectively? I'll we'll talk about what, why, and how in today's call. Learn the art of time management and unlock the secrets to achieve more in less time. We want to gain control over our schedule and boost our productivity. So let me give you first what is the definition of so let me give you first what is the definition of time management. Time management refers to managing time effectively so that the right time is allocated to the right activity. Isn't that simple? Yet, how many of us are able to use our time effectively? I believe not many of us. Let's go a bit deeper. So, why it is so important? Why it is so such a thing that okay, we are not able to utilize it? You need to learn the acronym more, better, and faster. That's what holds true for time. We want to do more in lesser time. We want to do it in a better manner, and we want to do it faster. So, the first and the foremost is that when we say faster, more, better, it is about maximizing our productivity. So the effective time management allows you to do more in lesser time, increasing your overall throughput. You want to work in a stress-free environment, and when you are not able to accomplish your goals, you are bound to be stressed. A housewife may have to send her kids to school in time in the morning, which is again a time-bound activity. She has to do so many things like pack tiffins, get kids ready, drop them to the school or to the bus stop. All this is time bound. Isn't that stressful every morning? A businessman needs to make timely payments. He has to go about doing sales of his products and services. A student needs to prepare and appear for exams. A professional needs to deliver time bound commitments every now and then. So the world is full of stress. It's better you manage your time, so on and so forth. And last but not the least, you need to achieve work life balance. Extremely important. Easier said than done. We all want to have great work life balance, but are we able to achieve that? So it is said that we need to spend our time in three windows. The 24 hours that we have need to be spent in three windows. The first window is The first 8 hour window is that we need to have effective sleep, sound sleep for 8 hours. Then we need to have 8 hours of productive work that we do every day that gives us that satisfaction, sense of achievement. And then 8 hours of social time with our friends, with our families, so that you can enjoy, you can recharge your batteries. So these are the three 8 hour windows wherein we want to spend our time and achieve great work life balance. So unless and until you are able to utilize your time in those three windows effectively, you'll not be able to achieve that. Now, again, benefits of time management, three of those, three most important. When you are able to utilize your time effectively, the obvious outcome is increased efficiency. That when you are doing things in an efficient manner, you feel confident, you feel proud, you feel sense of satisfaction. So increased efficiency is the primary outcome. It helps you in improve your decision making by having a clear picture of your schedule, your priorities. It allows for better decision making and resource allocation, less stress and more free time. So when you are doing things in the most methodical manner, you are less stressed. You have more time at your disposal, which you can use according to your requirement. You can do more. You can work on activities which you love, which give you sense of satisfaction. You can pursue your passions. Now, what are the if principles of effective time management? There are three of those. First is that you need to have clear goals in front of you. You need to have short-term goals, you need to have long-term goals, and you have to split them into manageable tasks so that you keep your focus on those. You feel motivated about going up to accomplish those tasks, to complete those on time. Eliminate time wasting activities. Many of us, out of the 24 hours, you may probably ponder over that the amount of time that you spend in activities which are of no consequence. I'll talk about some of those in an upcoming slide. So identify those activities which are of no value or little value, which do not contribute to your goals, and learn to say no to unnecessary detractions. And prioritize wisely. You have limited time at your disposal. You need to figure out what is it that is important to you. Where do you need to spend time? What are the things which are of consequence to you? What are the things which are important and urgent? So you work according to those. Now, I'll talk about some of the time management tools and techniques which can help you in making effective utilization. The one that is on the screen is an Eisenhower matrix. It's a very well reputed and known tool to help you identify what you should do, what is thing which is of important to you, where should you be spending your time. So you see there are four quadrant one, two, three, and four, and then on the vertical axis you have important and urgent, on the horizontal important and non-important, and on the horizontal you have urgent and not urgent. So the quadrant one is important and urgent. And this is something which is, again, when you have the word urgent, that means something which is having stress. So you want to reduce the time that you spend in that quadrant. Some of the examples of urgent and important would be like a student or a professional need to appear for a certification or an exam. Somebody like a professional may have to release a hotfix for a product, may have to release a product and the date is fast approaching. An example of not urgent but important is that you need to do daily exercises. You have to follow those rituals. You may have to read some books or newspapers. You need to upgrade your skills, spending time with your family and friends. Some of the examples of urgent and not important. You may be getting calls from your parents and relatives. But please remember, a call from a wife or spouse is bound to be urgent and important. So you better take that accordingly, right? And some of your appliances at your home may have broken down and it becomes urgent, but it is not important. They need repairs. Again, some examples of not urgent, not important. You are right now, in India, the World Cup is going on, the Cricket World Cup. So we are spending so much of our time watching cricket or of late, I mean, we spent a lot of time on watching some of the events in the Olympics. They are neither urgent nor important. It's just like, okay, we derive satisfaction out of it. But do they help in achieving your goals? No. Some of the other examples I may talk about: taking more than 8 hours of sleep, not required. Taking more than 30 minutes to get yourself through the morning rituals. Again, you have to ponder over that. Is that a good use of your time? So, where should we do spend our time? We should spend our time, maximum time, in quadrant 2, which is important but not urgent, because you can schedule your time around that. You can do them at your luxury without being through the stress of being urgent and important. And remember, if you don't do work in urgent, in important and not urgent, in a timely manner, it will spill over from quadrant 2 to quadrant 1, wherein you will be forced to address that ask, that want, and you won't have that luxury to do it at your convenience, at your will. So better spend your time in a planned manner over here in quadrant 2, by scheduling your efforts, your work over there, right? And if it is neither important nor urgent, the quadrant 4, why should you be doing that? Say no to that. No to all that work which is neither important nor urgent, right? Then the quadrant 3, this is something that you can delegate. For example, I mean, I said your appliances are broken, urgent but not important. Delegate it to some house help, some vendor who can come. And again, I mean, you have services like Urban Clap and something. You just call them home. Don't you don't need to go and take them to a vendor at a shop or somewhere. You figure that out, how you sort of delegate that. Similarly, at work, I mean, if something is better being done by your subordinates, you better learn the art of delegation. Now, how much question is how much time we should spend in each quadrant. It can vary from person to person. But if you ask me, I like to spend more than 50% or at least 50% of the time in quadrant 2, wherein I'm doing things at my pace. That gives me quality also, right? So it makes sense to spend more time in quadrant 2. I may probably spend around 25% time in Q1, because I mean, there are so many things going on in the world. You are forced to spend time in quadrant 1. It is your endeavor to do as little as possible in quadrant 1, but the fact is that, I mean, you have to work according to the guidelines, according to the requirements, and invariably you have to spend time in quadrant 1. So around 20-25% time in quadrant 1, and around 15% time in quadrant 3, wherein you're delegating stuff, you're getting things done from others, or you're figuring out ways to, okay, I mean, if not me, then who? So around 15%. Ideally, if I talk about quadrant 4, you should not be spending any time at all, but it doesn't go like that. So I'll say that around 10% of the time is being spent in Q4. Like for example, you are watching Netflix, you are watching cricket match, you are watching Olympics, you are browsing social media, you are watching some stuff on OTT platforms. So 10%, that's fine. I I cannot make it zero. You cannot make it zero. And that combination varies from person to person. But this is something which is quite a decent or a genuine breakup. So, continuation of time management tools and techniques. So I'm going into a bit more detail. Build your to-do list. So you have 24 hours. I gave you 8 hours windows. So figure out what you want to do in other than the sleep, rest of the 8-hour windows. What is it that you want to do? Create your daily or weekly to-do list so that it helps you stay organized and focused on your priorities. The second thing is Pomodoro technique. Break your task into focused intervals of work. So you may have probably most important things and urgent things being done in the first half in a particular time slot, followed by short breaks to enhance your productivity and maintain your concentration and focus. Then I mean, these days there are so many softwares. You may probably go for a time tracking app in your mobile, in your smartphone. wherein you are effectively evaluating and identifying how you are using your time, whether it is being used according to your goals and objectives, the tasks are being met or not. And then at the end of the day, review that what is it that you were able to accomplish, what is it that you were not able to accomplish. Then identify optimization or means to be able to do more, and probably complete around 80 to 90% of the tasks that you plan for the day. Then question is that, okay, I want to do that, but what are the challenges that we all face most of the time, every day, I will say. The first and the foremost challenge is procrastination. I mean, as human, I mean, this is a natural human tendency that we want to leave something which we are not comfortable in. So if there is something that, okay, we are not comfortable in, we'll try to keep postponing till it becomes an urgent thing. So avoid doing that. So utilize techniques like 5 second rule. Okay, if it is something which is has to be done, I have to get started within 5 seconds. Because if you don't do that, then it gets postponed. Or you follow the technique like eat the frog. Eat the frog means, I mean, go about starting the tasks or things which are most difficult. Ones which are most difficult, we want to keep it on the side. We want to keep it on the back burner. So these are the two things that you may start practicing so as to get away from procrastination. Interruptions. Many a times we are distracted many a times in the day. You have notifications, so many notifications, so many applications giving you those notifications. You get calls from colleagues, family members whenever they need you. So you have to block certain times wherein you don't want any distractions. Probably you may want to sort of silent notifications from as many apps as possible. Keep your phone on silent when you are doing something which is extremely important. You need to figure out how you reduce the distractions and interruptions. And one of the challenges is that we are not spending too much of time or decent time planning our stuff. So you have to figure out that, okay, I mean, you have goals, you have objectives, you have to-do list. Planning is at the core of it. You will not be able to accomplish your goals unless and until you have a methodical way to achieve those goals and objectives. So better learn how to plan. You may not be good at the first attempt, but again, plan, revisit, revise, replan, revisit, revise till it goes according to your plan, till it goes according to your wishes. So allocate the right time in your planning for the right activities. When I say right activities, go about thinking about the Eisenhower matrix. Identify the right activities and then plan and allocate time according to those priorities for effective execution. So tips for improving your time management. Again, don't do something which others can do for you. So delegate and collaborate. Identify tasks which can be delegated. Leverage the strength of your team or your house helps or the ecosystem around you so that you can maximize your efficiency. Practice self-care is the second most important thing. Take breaks. Do regular exercise. Health is wealth. So if your body is fit, you will be able to do more. You will be able to utilize your time most effectively. Maintain a healthy work-life balance to ensure sustained productivity. If the work-life balance is distorted, I mean, you may have good periods of productivity, but those will be few. So it's better you work on those. And you will not be able to do everything yourself. You will not be able to do all the thing all the time. You have to learn to say no. Have the confidence to decline tasks that you will not be able to do or don't align with your or which do not align with your goals and objectives, or they sort of overload you because your schedule does not allow for that. Learn to say no. Very important. Now, as we come towards the closer of today's session, this is something I want each of you to do. I mean, learning without execution is of no consequence. You need to take this learning along with you and practice certain things. You need to master the Eisenhower matrix. Create that simple matrix. This is a 2 by 2 matrix wherein you put in how you are spending your time as of date. So put task in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. And then again create a copy of that. And then what is the ideal way? Which task should go to which quadrant? So that you can identify the change that you need to bring in. And then start working on that. Without that, I mean, you may watch any number of sessions, any number of self-help videos, any number of trainings you go through, any number of coaching sessions you go through. They will not bring any change. The change is to be brought by you. You have to spend efforts around that. Uncover time wasting culprits. Where it is that you are spending time, you cannot avoid them completely, but you have to learn how to reduce them. Unlock your true potential and focus on what matters to you, what is of consequence to you, what are the priorities for you, and work on their execution. Empower yourself to say no when time is tight, especially. It is an art. You have to learn how. And challenge yourself, finally. Challenge yourself. Do I really need to do this? So these are the 5 things that I want each of you to practice day in and day out to see the change, to see the magic happen. With this, I come to the closer of today's session. I hope you would have taken away some uh, aspects from today's connect. You'll be able to practice those and benefit from those. If you like today's session, please share your comments and feedback around this video. In case if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to hear more about such content which will bring in some positive change in your life. You can connect with me on any of these social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram to hear more about uh, such content that I keep publishing on these media very often. Have a good day. Thank you.